And the Palestinian Red Crescent says at least one Palestinian has been killed by Israeli forces storming a town in the northern occupied West Bank. Another person is in critical condition after being shot in the head during the Israeli raid on Kufr Dan. Convoys of Israeli army vehicles have been driving through the town near the city of Jenin. And witnesses say Israeli soldiers fired a shoulder-mounted missile at a house which they surrounded. Let's get you more on these developments. I want to turn now to Al Jazeera's correspondent, Nida Ibrahim. She's in Ramallah in the occupied West Bank. Nida, tell us more about this latest attack that took place near Jenin.
Well, as you say there, Layla, the Israeli forces have surrounded the house and fired two shoulder-mounted missiles at that house, where locals we've been speaking to reported that they've been seeing smoke rising out of the house. Now, because the Israeli forces are still there, we don't know if there are casualties inside. The Israeli media is reporting that 3 Palestinians have been killed inside that house. But as far as we know from medical teams, 1 Palestinian have been killed. His body is in one of the hospitals, and 3 have been wounded. 2 of them in critical condition, as one of them has suffered an injury to the head and the other to the chest. We're talking about a situation that is still developing, because after the Israeli forces have raided the village of Kufr Dan, which is around a 10-minute drive from the Jenin city in the north of the occupied West Bank, they brought more reinforcement. And not only did they bring the ground troops, but also an Apache plane which reportedly has shot towards an empty piece of land, basically causing no casualties. But this adds to the trauma, to the pain, to the stress of Palestinians living there and enduring those raids that take long time. They happen during the day, during the night, where you have people just going about their daily lives and they end up getting wounded or killed. We're talking about armed confrontations, because we know that there is an armed group operating in Kufr Dan that has recently basically started working from there. But we're talking also about a raid that is still ongoing.
And Nida, it's been a free-for-all in the occupied West Bank when it comes to violence. Things were bad before the war on Gaza, and they seem to have just gotten gradually worse.
Well, we've been reporting before October 7th that 2023 has been the deadliest year on record in the occupied West Bank in 15 years, because of the continued Israeli raids to different cities across the occupied West Bank. But now we're talking about 539 Palestinians at least killed by the Israeli forces since October the 7th until now. We are talking about a very high number when it comes to the reality of Palestinians who are going under the military occupation now for decades. We're talking about, for example, just in the past 2 days, about 7 Palestinians being killed, 4 of them near us in Ramallah, in a village called Kufr Dan. So we're talking about a very stressful situation, whereby this is becoming some sort of a daily routine for Palestinians. They feel that they're unprotected and they are vulnerable with the Israeli raids. Not only raids, we're talking about other violations when it comes to the illegal settlement expansion, the settler attacks that have been really recorded high record levels. Basically, we're talking about Palestinians who feel that they are under threat all the time and they have no protection whatsoever.
Nida Ibrahim reporting on the precarious situation in the occupied West Bank. Nida, thank you so much.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.